What's up guys, James here from Reflect the Screen, and I'm so excited. Summer 2018 is here, y'all. We have Ant-Man and the Wasp, Hereditary, Incredibles 2. I mean, yeah, there's a rock film, Skyscraper, and then there's there's Adrift. I mean, that's a movie I just saw. It's definitely a movie. Adrift is based on a true story and stars Shailene Woodley as Tammy, who is a young San Diego girl who found her way to Tahiti and now is falling madly in love with Richard, who also loves her back. Richard is played by Sam Claflin, who's known for Hunger Games and Me Before You. But here's the thing, both of them are assigned a task. Please drop off my boat to San Diego, says Richard's friends. I'm never gonna do that accent again. Or maybe I will. But these friends of Richard ask him to drop off the boat to San Diego and will pay you a bunch of money. So they say yes. Both Richard and Tammy are sailing the seas and they want to see the whole world together, and they're so excited, they're falling in love, and it's such a nice tale. And then they crash, and then Richard breaks his leg and his ribs, and Tammy has to fend for herself. So yeah, this is a survival tale. I mean, really, it is. It's just not a very good one. And unfortunately, I think that the past and the present timeline where we see them trying to survive and then we see how they're falling in love, that never really marinated enough for me. I feel like it didn't make me believe them as a couple. And that's pretty much the bulk of the film. If you love them as a couple, you'll probably really like the movie. But the movie didn't sell that. So to me, it felt like everything, especially the ending, had no impact on me. Director Baltasar Kormákur, he's got experience in action. He's shot, 2 guns with Denzel Washington, Mark Wahlberg, and Contraband with Mark Wahlberg. I think he likes Mark Wahlberg. But Baltasar Kormákur doesn't really let things settle. And that's a big problem with me. I mean, I didn't take many notes for this film, but on my notepad it just basically says things didn't marinate. And I didn't really feel the connection between Richard and Tammy. I mean, I get it. They're probably great on set together. Shailene Woodley and Sam Claflin probably have some good chemistry behind the scenes, but it never bled into the screen. I didn't see that in the final product. And not only that, I feel like the film itself never really sold me on the fact that they're fighting for their lives. Sure, dehydration, broken legs, broken ribs, but it just, I guess because they were going in the past so much, it just didn't feel like it had a lot of weight, and it was very surface level. A lot of the dialogue is very cheesy in this film, and I'm incredibly surprised because the writers that they have for this movie are really good. This film was written by Aaron and Jordan Candell, and guess what film they wrote? Moana. So go figure, Moana, one of my favorite animated films ever. And then I see Adrift, and I wonder, how do you go from Moana to this? And I think of all the bad bits of dialogue in Adrift and how nothing really connected with me. And then I look at Moana and how much heart and soul that film had. It's weird how those two never got it right with Adrift, and I'm really surprised and I'm shocked because I didn't know that they wrote this film until I finished the movie and went to IMDb. Now, what I will give Adrift is that the film looks pretty. I mean, there are some shots underwater and on the sea that look great. I mean, the film really does a great job of shooting on location as well. At least in that regard, I felt the tale became a bit more believable, but like I said, the actors really dragged down the film because they never clicked. So everything looked pretty, but then when you start listening and you start actually observing what's going on in terms of the body language of the characters, the two never come together. So kudos to the director of photography, but that's pretty much the extent of the positives for Adrift. Now I've heard, and of course the movie dives into it at the end where they say this was based on a true story, so here's a bunch of facts about this true story. I've heard that the book is incredibly emotional, and I hear that it tears people apart at the end. I mean, I had a friend after the film said she read the book and she was bawling her eyes out. So where was that emotion here? There are moments that you think to yourself, oh yeah, that's pretty sad, but you're just saying it to yourself, that's pretty sad. You're not actually feeling sad. I recognize some of the moments of love, it's nice, it looks nice, but I don't feel it's genuine. In the grand scheme of things, it's going to be forgotten about this summer. There are so many films, like I listed in the beginning, that are going to overshadow this movie. And Shailene Woodley is not the best actress on the face of this earth, but she can at least carry a scene somewhat decently. It's just everything else surrounding Adrift never really clicked for me. So you can probably go ahead and pass on Adrift. Unless you really want to see this film and you've read the book and you're head over heels for these characters, go see it on a matinee because you're going to be very upset if you spend $13.50 on this film. Maybe next time, lovers at sea. Thanks so much for tuning into this review, you guys. If you like what you saw, you can go ahead and give this a thumbs up and subscribe for more content here at Reflect the Screen. Now, there are tons of things that you might not see in front of the camera, so go ahead online to reflectthescreen.com and check out more news articles and different happenings around Hollywood. I'm excited for the next film, so I'll catch you at the next screening.